everybody, it's getting on evening of July 4th, 2023. I hope everybody's having a good time today. So I just wanted to take some time to show you how my little rock situation went. Okay, now I did just wet down this area, and I'm just gonna be curious to see what it looks like when it dries versus that stuff that's covered in like gravel dust. But I have just only 2 bags of that left. So what I did is, because this heavyweight landscape fabric, they're saying that for it to really last as long as it should, you should cover it with 3 inches of cover over it. Okay, so because some of this bigger rocks has more holes and things in it, I put down the pea gravel first, which may be too easy for my chickens to kick up later. So then I put river rocks. I had to mound up the pond pebbles up against this berm, this incline here, and then as you can see, there's still landscape fabric. So I'm gonna have to drop, because the pea pebbles will not stay up on the slope, I had to put the big ones down first, and then later on I'll drop some more of these little pea pebbles down on top, and maybe even a little bit of sand to fill in the gaps. Okay, so now over here I just went ahead and planted this goldchild ivy that I had bought a while ago, and it's going to be a little bit more it'll be manageable here in this area. Now, well, shoot, I am going to have to go and make tags for all these things in my bed. But so I just wanted to also share a quick word on some of these things that I bought today. I couldn't find a whole lot of information on this specific dianthus, but dianthus in general, I didn't research it that well at the Home Depot, but it was being sold in the perennial to my zone area, but some places say that it's an annual in some areas and that it's a biennial in some areas, so it's not necessarily a long-lived perennial. I don't know how it's actually going to do in my zone since I'm in this weird spot, this anomalous spot. Okay, so the color, it's showing up too light almost on mine. There we go. The color on these is just so fabulous, and they smell amazing. So I did have just one of them pop off, and I'm gonna make a cup of tea with this when I go inside. But I loved these so much when I saw them. I decided to go ahead and put them right here so that every time I go in and out of this back door, I see them. And they are very fragrant, so I hope the tea flavor is good. But the other quick note that I wanted to share with you all is a little bit of a situation that is not really jiving with me on my daylilly. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I planted it right over here, but I hadn't really looked at the pot because I know that's a daylily, right? So when I was planting it, I looked at the pot and look at what it says. Caution, do not eat, extremely poisonous to humans and animals. Okay? So now I want you all, if you're interested about things like this, go ahead and do some search queries on daylilies and their uses and whether or not they're edible. Okay? Because, that might be some sort of lawsuit thing because maybe somebody overdosed on daylilies. You can even overdose on water to a fatal degree. Okay? But go do your own research, because other places will tell you these have been used as food for thousands of years. Now, do you want to be eating tons of them? No. Okay? And then some things, like if you are eating more of, you may want to ferment them, for example, which is like age-old food preservation that also helps break down toxins. For example, legumes, seeds, grains contain anti-nutrients that benefit from being soaked and fermented, removing some of those before you eat them. Okay, so fermentation and things, it's a very old thing. So I don't know why that's on there, but it's just a reminder that, sometimes you gotta do your own research and exercise your sovereignty. Okay, now some unfortunate violence was committed on this in the car, but I'm really excited for these to bloom so you can see the color a little bit better, and again, so this was the only one that they had left because they used to have a huge table of these. But this was the only one left that wasn't in more full bloom. Like that flower that broke off was the only one that was open. So I intentionally bought this one where all the blooms were still closed, because what I'm gonna do, because this color, you know, it's like, it's okay. It's not as orangey as I seem to remember it being. You know, it is kind of orangey, but it has some variation in there. Like, it's okay, it's pretty, but it's very common in this area. So I wanted to make sure I got something that could appeal to other people for sales. And what I'm going to do, again, I've never collected seeds from this. So this year I'm going to try to only collect seeds from this plant and then just see what cross-pollinates and how they turn out. Okay? And it'll be interesting, but there's all sorts of different varieties of daylilies out there. Now, I was a little disappointed because there was this oriental lily, and I don't necessarily think those are edible. I don't know much about those because these are not actual lilies. Okay. So there was one that was just this beautiful white and purple, like oriental lily that was in bloom at the Walmart garden center when I went in there last. And I've been thinking about that plant. I've been thinking about that plant and this plant for like a while. A long time. So since I decided to get this one, which is probably more useful and multi-purpose, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go let myself get that one lily that I really liked. And of course, somebody else had already bought it. So I'll be really curious to see what I planted over here and how these pop up. Because I probably tried to pick my favoritist. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes because I might have just gotten something boring. They might just be like white lilies or something, which is not bad. Okay. But I just saw those purple and white ones with little spots on them, and I was like, oh, so beautiful. So anyways, in the springtime, they'll be selling all those different bags of different lily roots that I'll be able to pick some from if I want. Now these, I don't like having too many of just these things because they're not woody perennials. So in the wintertime, there's nothing left there. It's just all down to the ground. You know, all just wilts down to the ground and then it pops back up out of the ground the next year. So I am trying to add some more woody perennials and things like that. That like still keep some winter interest even if it's not like blooming or anything like that. Anyways, I got to tag all these different plants that I've been planting all over the place with some nice like kind of semi-permanent, like with a landscape marker, an outdoor landscape marker that should be UV resistant and like water resistant. I have some nice tags that I can put in here for this. I gotta tag that thing, I gotta water that thing, but anyways, I'm pretty tired. I'm rambling. It's probably time for me to turn this off. I did get one more seed tray to get some other things started in that are gonna be for personal use, but I just haven't gotten to that yet. So I gotta like get cracking at that tomorrow. Take it easy, y'all.